S&P Global released a news about Asia UCO price in 2024. In this news, they predict that UCO price will increase in 2024. US will be a big market for Chinese UCO. UCOME from China, the price will drop. Let's listen to the news.
Asia's UCO market poised for upturn in 2024. UCOME demand prospects uncertain. Author Nurul Darni Chow Kit Boya Diffier Kondalamahanti. Highlights. UCO demand upturn expected in Q1 2024. US becoming lucrative market for China's UCO. UCOME faces dim prospects. Asia's used cooking oil market may head higher in 2024 on its rising demand as a sustainable feedstock for biodiesel, while used cooking oil methyl ester biofuel could face the prospect of uncertain demand from the EU, according to trade sources. The FOB UCO China price could recover from the low seen in December 2023, as demand inquiries from buyers in Europe are expected to pick up in January after the low demand season in the fourth quarter. Buyers in Europe typically avoid buying huge quantities of palm-based UCO during winter as the risk of it being delivered as solid due to its high cold filter plugging point is elevated. However, this will no longer be a cause for concern after winter ends, traders said. Buyers will need to replenish inventories in the first quarter. So, I expect some improvement in demand for UCO from January onward, one Singapore-based trader said. China's UCO spot price had declined 51% from the highs seen at $1,627 per metric ton FOB in June 2022 to $791 per metric ton FOB China in early December, S&P Global Commodity Insights data showed, partly mirroring poor biodiesel fundamentals in Europe. Platts, part of S&P Global Commodity Insights, began assessing the FOB China UCO price in January 2021. UCO supplies will also likely be actively sought after this year, traders said. A surge of Malaysian UCO shipments in Q4 2023 to Singapore, the EU, and the US underscored the growing thirst for UCO as a feedstock from other steady sources of supply in the region, not just from China. Malaysia's UCO shipments to the EU in November jumped 43% on the month to 58,465 metric tons. Data from Cargo Surveyor Intertech Testing Services showed December 5. I think more and more buyers, including those from the EU and the US, will continue to seek out Straits UCO next year, another trader said. Market ripe for China's UCO. The stage also looks set for China's UCO exports in 2024 to continue flowing to the US, a market that had until last year not seen any Chinese UCO imports, trade sources said. Tide changed for Chinese UCO exports in 2023, with the U.S. gaining prominence over Europe as the primary destination after the U.S. enacted the Inflation Reduction Act in August 2022. This, in turn, created a lucrative market for biofuels, offering substantial tax credits for producers of sustainable aviation fuel and biodiesel. These incentives proved highly attractive for Chinese UCO exporters, sources said. China's UCO exports over January-August 2023 reached 1.18 million metric tons, according to S&P Global data. The main destination was the US, followed by the EU and Singapore. The US will be a much more attractive market than the EU for Chinese producers, especially if they can sell to HVO, hydrotreated vegetable oil, producers, and can fetch a much higher premium than your standard cargo, a China-based trader said. China's biodiesel under scrutiny. China's used cooking methyl ester, or UCOME biodiesel, may suffer some early demand setbacks at least in the first quarter of 2024, as the EU is tightening scrutiny on biodiesel imports from China and could impose measures to curb an influx of Chinese imports, trade sources said. The Chinese UCOME market is expected to come under some downward pressure in early 2024 after the European Commission said December 20th it will launch an anti-dumping investigation on Chinese biodiesel imports. It's like a double whammy. First, the probe, by the EU, into Chinese exports due to allegations of possible fraud, and now this, one Singapore-based trader said. In June 2023, the European Commission launched a probe on China-sourced imports following complaints from the industry about possible fraud relating to those imports. The FOB China UCOME offers came under pressure in December, with Platts assessing the Chinese UCOME price at $1,000 per metric ton December 20th, S&P Global data showed. According to market sources, further price downside is expected. By comparison, the FOB China UCOME was assessed at $1,290 per metric ton in the same period in 2022. Platts began assessing the FOB China UCOME price in August 2022. China's UCOME supplies to the EU could decline further in the first few months of 2024, sources said.
Okay. They also posted a chart of UCO price from 2023 to February 2023 to December 2023. We can try to listen to the news in Chinese again.
亚洲的 UCO 市场有望在2024年回升 UCOME 的需求前景不确定。作者 Nurodani Chao Keboya Defia Kanalandi 亮点 UCOME 的需求预计将在2024年第一季度回升。美国成为中国 UCOME 的利润丰厚的市场 UCOME 前景暗淡。由于其作为生物柴油可持续原料的需求增加，亚洲二手食用油市场可能会在2024年走高。而二手食用油的需求不断增加，贸易消息人士称，食用油甲酯生物燃料可能面临欧盟需求不确定的前景。离岸 UCO 中国价格可能会从2023年12月的低点回升，因为在第四季度需求淡季之后，欧洲买家的需求查询预计将在1月份回升。欧洲的买家通常避免在冬季购买大量的棕榈基 UCO， 因为由于其高冷过滤器堵塞点，其固体交付的风险会增加。但是，交易商表示，冬季结束后，这将不再令人担忧。买家需要在第一季度补充库存，因此，我预计从1月份起，对 UCO 的需求会有所改善。一位驻新加坡的交易员说，标普全球大宗商品洞察数据显示，中国的 UCO 现货价格已从2022年6月的1627美元吨离岸价高点下跌了 51%。至12月初的中国离岸价791美元，这在一定程度上反映了欧洲生物柴油基本面不佳。标普全球大宗商品洞察旗下的 poised 于2021年1月开始评估离岸价中国 UCO 价格。交易商表示，今年马来西亚的 UCO 供应也可能会受到积极追捧。2023年第四季度，马来西亚对新加坡、欧盟和美国的 UCO 出货量激增。这凸显了人们对 UCO 作为该地区其他稳定供应来源的原料的需求与日俱增，而不仅仅是来自中国。货运测量公司 Intertek Testing Services 在12月5日的数据显示，马来西亚11月向欧盟的 UCO 出货量同比增长了 43%， 达到58465万吨。另一位交易员说，我认为明年越来越多的买家，包括来自欧盟和美国的买家，将继续寻找 Straight UCO。 贸易人士称，中国 UCO 的美国市场已经成熟。贸易消息人士称，中国在2024年继续向美国出口 UCO 的舞台似乎也已准备就绪，该市场直到去年还没有出现任何中国 UCO 的进口。2023年，中国 UCO 出口的潮流发生了变化。在美国于2022年8月颁布通货膨胀削减法之后，美国作为主要目的地的地位越来越突出。这反过来又创造了一个利润丰厚的生物燃料市场，为可持续航空燃料和生物柴油的生产商提供了大量的税收抵免。消息人士称，事实证明，这些激励措施对中国 UCO 出口商极具吸引力。根据标普全球数据，2023年1月至8月，中国的 UCO 出口量达到118万吨，主要目的地是美国，其次是欧盟和新加坡。一位驻中国的贸易商说，对于中国生产商来说，美国比欧盟更具吸引力的市场，特别是如果他们能够向 HVO 加氢处理植物油生产商出售产品，并且可以获得比标准货物高得多的溢价。中国的生物柴油受到审查， 贸易消息人士称，中国的二手烹饪甲酯或 UCOME 生物柴油可能至少在2024年第一季度遭受一些早期需求挫折，因为欧盟正在加强对从中国进口的生物柴油的审查，并可能采取措施遏制中国进口的涌入。欧盟委员会于12月20日表示，将对中国进口的生物柴油展开反倾销调查，预计中国 UCOME 市场将在2024年初面临一些下行压力。这就像是双重打击。首先，由于指控可能存在欺诈行为，欧盟对中国出口的调查现在是这样。一位驻新加坡的贸易商说，2023年6月，欧盟委员会对源自中国的进口商品展开了调查。此前，该行业抱怨可能存在与这些进口有关的欺诈行为。标普全球数据显示，中国 UCOME 的 FOB 报价在12月受到压力。poised 估计12月20日，中国 UCOME 的价格为1000美元吨。根据市场消息来源，预计价格将进一步下跌。相比之下，2022年同期，中国 UCOME 的离岸价格估计为1290美元吨。poised 于2022年8月开始评估中国 UCOME 的离岸价格。消息人士称，中国对欧盟的 UCOME 供应可能在2024年前几个月进一步下降。
Okay, that's the news. In this chart, the unit of the price, I think, is a mistake. Should not be dollar per day, should be dollar per ton. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.